Hey everyone, Jody from Bird Dog Off-Road Adventures.
Evan with the Adventures of Rogers and Henderson.
Tonight we wanted to get a very special guest, but unfortunately everybody was tied up. So we asked our friend Brad if he would come on the show with us and talk to us. Actually, Brad's a really cool guy. We met him at the Rubicon. He and Evan really hit it off really well, and Courtney as well. So we figured we'd let him come on, chit chat with us, and see what he has to say, give us some updates about himself. So without further ado, moo.
Hey guys.
What up, dude?
Sounds like you're in heat, man. You okay?
Hey Jody, I think you're selling yourself a little bit short. I like you too. We just didn't clickety clack like Evan and I.
Yeah. Well, I can't help but you're not a Cowboys fan.
Clickety clack.
Dude, I don't like the Cowboys at all. When they say America's team, isn't it like Central America's team or something like that?
No, it's America, not America. America's team.
America.
Yeah. Who are you a fan of? Seahawks?
Denver Broncos. And it had nothing to do with the Bronco. It just, I grew up in the Seattle area, hated the Seahawks, and they would destroy Ford Broncos and talk trash about the Denver Broncos. And then the Denver Broncos would destroy them on the football field. So I became a Broncos fan. I was born in San Diego area, so I liked the Chargers. They were my team until they moved to the pits of hell. And you can't, if you're from San Diego, people who know, they hate everything LA. So no longer a Chargers fan.
Oh, well. All right. Well, we got a couple people on here with us. Scott, what's up, bitches? Scott, you need to give us an update. Well. We want an update. Sea chickens. Oh, Lord.
Yep.
Give us an update, Scott, in the chat. And Nate, glad you're on here, buddy. Nate, hope you come to Bronco Palooza. We've been planning behind the scenes, so hope you can make it up this year again. So I'll get to see you this time, hopefully, assuming Microsoft don't pull their bullshit again.
Quit trying to jinx it, Jody.
I know. Maybe one of these years we'll have Brad up there with us. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
It's Bronco Man 6's fault that I won't be there. Because I saw you guys post that, and I assumed that there's a hotel room somewhere near Belvedere, and then I was going to fly out, but Ed had talked to us members of the Inland Northwest Bronco Club, and he wants to put on a camping trip and have me lead some rides and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I will be missing your event.
Yeah, I think I would take trail rides over a plane ride. So I can't blame you on that one.
Remind me to cancel Ed's next appearance on here.
Or just make his microphone go funny.
Yeah, there you go. Uh-oh, Nate's having some issues with your turbo, man. What's up, dude?
2.3 or 2.7?
Yeah, I can't remember. What motor is yours, Nate? Yeah, William's in the chat. We still need to get that update, Scott. Is the Bronco back and running? Are you still waiting on parts? Oh, he's got a 4-cylinder. You know, I don't know, Brad. Yeah, you were on here last week, weren't you, Brad? Or not last week, but 2 weeks ago, when Scott was telling us, spilling the beans.
Yeah.
That was a horrible story to hear. Made the first official reel.
Play hard, break hard.
Yep, that's right. That's right, Courtney. Telling. There's plenty of time between now and then to get the turbo fixed. So we saw Brad down at United by Bronco. Brad and I have agreed to come hell or high water. If we have to fly to Chicago and drag their asses down here next year, we're going to do it.
We'll see. We're going to find out if Evan is a man of his word, because he said he was coming.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't, I'm getting what's that sleeping agent they put over people's face that knocks them out?
Chloroform.
Yeah, chloroform. I'm getting the chloroform cloths, 2 of them, his and her chloroform cloths. Load them up in the back.
I thought it was Taco Bell and locking your windows. I thought that knocked people out too.
Oh yeah, that probably would too. I don't know about Taco Bell. I'd go all out. I'd go Chipotle.
Nah, you spend too much money on Chipotle.
Yeah.
Plus, you probably would get real meat and not like cat or something like that.
So how was your experience at UBB, Brad? Tell us about what you did there.
It was rocky, and I don't mean that as a pun, because the trails were amazing. I had some issues with the event itself, but the fact that it is so amazing to see and meet all the different people. People that I've met at other events and new people, hit it off with Adam and Veronica, and just that is such an amazing part, and the place that it's held at is amazing. Yeah. There was a lot of hiccups with trail guides and that kind of stuff, but reached out to them and said, "Hey, you had some hiccups. I'd love to meet up with you or talk, not just email or text, about some of my ideas to help alleviate some problems and that kind of stuff." But I'm definitely going back next year. I think next year is going to be the pivotal year because they had a lot of things not work. Are you saying hi, or are you telling me
five? Next year is the 5-year anniversary.
Oh, 5th year anniversary. But the reason why I say it's the pivotal year is because they had a lot of things go wrong this year. And what do they do with it? Is it a learning experience, or is it a just suck it up? This is the way it's always going to be.
I think it's more of a learning curve. I think they've gotten bigger than they could anticipate. And let's be honest. I mean, unless people are willing to do those things, it's kind of hard to. I can say the first day that on my trail, me and Mitch from Barg Off Road, we pretty much led our group. Neither one of us even been to San Hollow before, but we both had Onyx Off Road, and link in the description below. No, I'm just kidding. Both have Onyx Off Road, and it did really good. Because I use the navigation function that they have now, to where you like click your waypoint and hit navigate, and it'll do like Google or Apple does, turn by turn, to get you exactly where you're going. So I think depends on the trail there. I think if you have a competent off-roader, I wouldn't mind leading a trail or two, as long as it's not like a long line of people and as long as it's not a bunch of newbies.
Yeah. So we got lost trying to get to the. Let me rephrase that. Our guide, what are they called? What did they call them? Our
trail leaders,
trail guide. Yeah. Couldn't even get us to the trail itself, and then they got us lost, and they were just relying on Onyx, and then I'm really good with navigation, trails, all that kind of stuff, because I've geocached for years. And I literally, as a kid, would look at my dad's Thomas Guide, which is a map book of all the streets, highlight streets I've been on, where I want to go. So maps and navigating is in my blood. And so I'm like, switch to Onyx, because I'm not an Onyx guy. I have Onyx, Gaia, and Trails Off Road, and they all do something amazing, but they all suck at something else. So I switched to Onyx to be on board with those guys, and then shot across to get to this trail that in Onyx didn't exist. So I led them all to a spot, and I'm like, here's the blue line on our phones. The blue line doesn't exist. And it got everybody really just staring in their phones going, now, but this, and I'm like, dude, you got to put the phones down. I'm like, some guy went off over the hill to go try and find the trail. And he's calling back on the radio. Well, it's a little tough, but we might be able to make it. I'm like, guys, don't follow me. I'm gone. Boom, shot over the side, found a trail, an easy way down to get to where we need to go, to get to a trail, came back up, grabbed him. Hey, come on, follow me. This is super easy. Get to the bottom. And I'm like, okay, now we just need to go up this way. And he's like, well, this guy over here has been here before. We'll follow him. And I'm like, okay. And by that time, I got a little upset. My other friend who was on the same trail was like, dude, let's just ditch him. Let's go. This is dumb.
Sorry, I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah.
I think Brad, both are probably guilty of that. the comments.
What's that?
John Biggins says one thing for sure: you would never get lost on your way to the Waffle House.
Hey, Big John. Yeah, he's my friend John Biggins. Which comments are you guys looking at?
The one on YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay, since I know you're probably not used to StreamYard, if you go on the right-hand side at the very top, it says comments. Click on that, and you can see what people are saying.
On my StreamYard. Oh, I'm on my phone.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
it's probably stupid. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so anyway, my wife was like, we paid $50 for this. My other friend who remained nameless, he was like, this is ridiculous. Let's just drop. I'm like, no, it's all about being in a group. And then by the time we got almost to the trail, they're still trying to find a way through the dunes. Like, I don't know how we'll get. So then I just started screwing around. Nicole got out of my rig because I scared the hell out of her. She jumped it. You know what that's like, Evan, right? So she got in with my friend, and I was like ripping it on the dunes. And they come across the radio. Hey, are we playing on the dunes? Are we trying to get through this trail? I'm like, some of us are playing while you're trying to figure your way around. And then I just ripped some more. We got to the trail.
What was you were trying to get to again?
Dude, if I say the trail, that's calling out the leaders who had only learned about it the night before. So they didn't even know they were going to lead it. So it's not all their faults, but it was just part of the negative part of the experience that really upset. And my friend was like, to my wife, he's like, how is Brad not getting upset? Like, he's not mad at all. And Nicole's like, he's furious. Well, he doesn't look it. Brad's a pretty happy guy, but he is really upset right now. But it turned out good. It was fine. It was a big hiccup, and a lot of people had problems. My friend Buttercup, he drives the short bus, the orange one that was next to me on Blancoville going to the falls.
Yeah.
I said, hey, you have to choose these routes. These are your things that you're signing up for because this is your first time off-roading. I'm going to sign up for these harder trails. He ended up going like all day long on these super hard trails. People were upset. He's dragging his stuff across stuff. My first trail, the first day was 2 hours. They bypassed all the hard stuff. And I was just like, I was so done with it. But then
oh, your volume went away. All right. Your mic's done shot again. So just so y'all know, Brad swallowed a gerbil before the show. So you're going to have to make some adjustments, Mr. Courtney put some pictures of emojis of a squirrel on the TV.
Okay, you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you just as fine without them. All right, so now you got to mute your.
How about that? Am I back?
You're back, clear, loud and clear.
Okay, good. I had to put it on Do Not Disturb so my wife can't interrupt again. What was I saying?
Oh, you're talking about you talking about like the chaos. I can't remember. It wasn't the first trail, but you were talking about the guy was asking you how bad you were.
Oh, and then we went to the Blancoville, and Derek was leading it, and they had pre-ran like you went on Blancoville, and it was amazing. It wasn't a tough trail, but everything worked because they were ready for it. Derek did an amazing job, not just because it's his show. I'm not kissing butt, not looking for free stickers. They really did. Out of my 3 days was by far leaps and bounds. If every day was kind of like that, it would have been really, really amazing. But the people, it's amazing. Evan, Courtney, you guys got to come. My wife walked most of the obstacles holding a GoPro. I was so proud, and she never fell.
Oh, Courtney's a trendsetter.
And Courtney, she didn't even swear.
Wow, she got you beat there, Court.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, in Chicago we swear, dude.
Well, here's my thing, Brad. I was gonna say, here's my thing: is this is one of the things I learned. So this year, a bunch of the guys, well, the people that I roomed with, were all from the Arizona group, and they went up there a couple of days ahead, got out there and played, with just them, and that way, whenever the event comes, they can just kind of be more leisurely and be more socialized because they went like to the shoot, did all the other stuff, and that's why I was telling Evan, I think it was last week or maybe it was offline, that if he and Courtney come out, we should probably go out there, try to get there like at least a few days before the event starts, and just go out there and kind of do our thing, film our content, or have Courtney film our content, and then love you, Court. But no, but seriously, I mean, have like let's go out there and just do our thing, play around. We set up our tripods, film each other, and just like do some good stuff. And then once the event starts, we can focus on trying to meet people, just having a good time and not having to stress out about whether we take a wrong turn or something like that. That to me is I thought that was a pretty good game plan.
So I last year I led a group up Rattlesnake Gulch. Oh, one of my favorite trails going up the river. This year I led the group out, as you know, Jody, out to the rim the day before on the Wednesday. Next year I'm going to lead it out to the mine. And so we do that. We come the day before, like Tuesday night we get there. So my wife doesn't really care for off-roading. So we left Thursday night and then spent all that time in Moab until Tuesday night, just us, just exploring, doing tourist stuff. We show up Tuesday night. I have that whole event was all day Wednesday. And then what we do is we go on our trail rides, and then the people that I've met, and that's like those pictures I sent, like I think of this, I don't know if I did the sunset one, but like after our trails, everybody just like, where's Brad? What are we doing? Where are we going? And we just go explore and have a good time. And like this year we added Adam and Veronica because we met them and just had a good time. And so the group keeps kind of getting bigger, and we just go look at stuff. We went to the Flintstone house. I flew my drone out there. Just a lot of fun stuff. Last year it was fun on the trails and then fun after. This year, not as much fun on the trails on 2 of the days. And a lot of people had that problem. We were lucky we did Blancoville on Saturday. But yeah, that's what we do. We just go and have a good time, meet people, and then just don't go back somewhere and drink. We go and we have dinner somewhere, or I personally like to eat off the back of the Bronco and go have dinner somewhere, watch the sunset, play in the sand, find all the cool things out there, because Sand Hollow has so much. And this is my fourth time visiting Sand Hollow, and we're actually flying tomorrow morning to Vegas to pick up our Broncos. Buttercup and I left them, and so we're going to go to Matt's Off-Road Games, go spend another couple days out playing at Sand Hollow, because it really is amazing.
Yeah, I got some pictures here you sent us earlier. There's one of the sunset you're talking.
That's after there was a group of probably about 7 of us that I have pictures, but it's on my drone. I didn't have it available to send to you, Jody. But this is what's left of about the 7 of us or 8, and then we were just head back to West Rim, stopped, watched the sunset. Oh, you're trying to show off your Bronco? That one's kind of lame. Those pictures.
That's yours, I thought, isn't it? Oh no, that's yours.
No,
I thought it was yours.
That's yours.
You added
Jody.
this.
It has 4 doors.
Earlier. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought that was yours. Anyway, I thought it was yours. This is a great picture. I like this one.
This is, and I got a bunch more pictures, but this is my Wednesday event. We went out and literally parked on the very edge of the Grand Canyon. Went out there. I think there was 7 of us on that trip. It was about 185 miles. Not hard technical trails, but I didn't want to go straight out there and straight back, up and over a mountain, down through some valleys, just bumpy, little bit of off-roading, very few places you need 4-wheel drive, but almost 200 miles in the Arizona Strip. just having a great time.
Nice. Did y'all run into a lot of
Sorry,
snow?
Evan. What's that?
I said, did y'all run into any snow on the way over there?
No. Well, we did coming from Moab over, but on our trip we weren't. That spot right there, you actually drop down about halfway into the canyon. So you're overlooking the river, but then also looking up in. So you're
Nice.
kind of in the canyon, on the edge of the canyon, and above the canyon, all at the same time. No, it was pretty epic.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty sweet looking. That's why I was like, man, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, but I get it. You had to drive. Maybe next year you'll be able to come to
Well, that's what I was
my
saying.
Wednesday event.
I'm thinking about coming like Saturday or Sunday.
Oh yeah, you
And
won't
then
run out of things to do.
well, I mean, it's like this year, you had 3 days of the actual event, and you could only realistically probably work, unless you do the night run or like some of the extracurricular activities, you're only knocking out one trail a day on most days. So, I mean, it's like there's so much more to see. And I'd rather just get out there and explore a few days before everybody else gets there. That way, if you want to do a video like of yourself doing the shoot or something like that, you can do it without all the distractions around. I mean, of course, you want to get a spotter probably, but
Well, once you've run it a couple times, I don't think you need a spotter. The spotters steer me wrong because my two-door doesn't like the left side of the chute, and they always send you to the left side of the chute. And then even in my manual, I'd go up, I'd start slipping, and then I'd have to back down about 3-4 feet, start off again, and then just stay to the right. And I don't have a problem on the right. So, if you look, ask Derek, he'll tell you, as long as you keep your hood level, you're fine. Just go up the chute.
yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. The cool part about watching other people do it is you see that they didn't tumble backwards. So there's a chance you can make it because it is steep. It's 43 degrees on my Bronco. And I know because I've had to stop and back up. So I have time to look at the gauge.
I'm glad I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, it is pretty nerve wracking to start a manual transmission at 43 degrees and start going.
Not burn your clutch out.
Yeah, that's why crawl gear is pretty awesome at 94 to 1. I mean, it's really nice. But that's what we kind of do. You can run more than one trail in a day, especially if they fix how they did the trails. Because this year, Steve was out from like 8 in the morning until almost 5 at night on a trail on the same day that we left at like 8:45 and was back by 11:30. So they need a little bit more consistency, a little bit staying on the rating. And then from that, you gravitate and you go and you play on other stuff. There's a little racetrack I found out there that's kind of in the desert. There's so much stuff out there. You would not be bored. And that's just in Sand Hollow, or technically Sand Mountain OHV area versus Sand Hollow State Park. Sand Hollow State Park is really small and expensive. 90% of the stuff you do is all out there on BLM land.
Yeah. I was very impressed with the housing options that were out there too. Those Airbnbs were nice.
Yes, they were pretty awesome. My wife bought into a timeshare, so we had a group in a 3-bedroom timeshare, and it was like $300 a room for Tuesday through Sunday morning. And we stayed in St. George, but where we were at, Highway 7 comes back to the interstate, and we were like just a couple exits north, came down, jumped on Highway 7, and came across right to the start. So it was pretty nice. You can get okay hotel rooms because it is literally their deadest season. It's after holidays, no spring breaks at all, and weather can be hit and miss. This year it wasn't that bad. I know it seemed like it was really windy, but it wasn't that bad. Last year was a little bit windier.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. Yeah, at all. I didn't think it was bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. It was really windy the day before on Wednesday when we went out to the rim, and then it was super windy on Sunday. And so we kind of lucked out during the event itself.
Yeah, I know when I drove in Wednesday night, I didn't get there till till Hurricane, probably till it was after 8. And the damn wind was horrible. I mean, sand was just blowing everywhere, and it was sideways. So I was like, "Shit, this is gonna be a fun week." But
Yeah,
yeah,
it blew everybody off the rim. We were supposed to have dinner there, and so I make 3 different things. I make sunset steaks, tailgate tacos, or panoramic pork chops. Those are what I call them off the tailgate when I watch the sunset and stuff. And it was blowing, and everybody's like, "Dude, we want out." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine
what's
with
all this
me. Let's
stuff in
go."
front of these trucks right here?
What's that?
What's all this stuff in front of these Broncos on this picture?
Oh, so like I said, when we talked about what we talk about is events, and I host between geocaching events and Bronco and Mustang events. I've hosted a lot of events, but that was my first Toys for Tots run,
Oh, nice.
um, year before last, 2023. Then there's another picture up in the mountains of a whole line of Broncos. And that was my last year's Toys for Tots, that one right there. Um, it was super muddy, so we didn't put the toys out, but that was my second Toys for Tots run. We ran into a little bit of snow, a little bit of mud, a little bit of everything. But so we collect all these toys, collect money to get toys, do a run, and then go to a local off-road shop that has the largest Cutting Edge Customs, has the largest Toys for Tots collection in North Idaho. And we go and we donate toys. And so
Awesome.
I plan a lot of events. And I don't think if I sent you the link, but like I plan the event out to the rim of the Grand Canyon. And so when I do that, I route it. I get all the points. This year I did, because we're way out there, I put points in there: red points for right turns, yellow points for left turns, and I posted it on Onyx, Gaia, and then I think a regular KMZ if you wanted to look at it on Google Earth. And so a lot of planning goes into even just one of my trail runs. And so that's another reason why I want to help UBB, because it's so amazing. And it just needs some tweaks to make it better. It's going to get bigger. I bet you it's going to get a lot bigger, because this year had hiccups, but people still want to come back. Few people were like, "Dude, this isn't worth it. I don't want to come back." I'm like, "Dude, it's only going to get better. This is a lot of fun. It's pretty amazing."
Yeah, I didn't hear anybody saying that, but I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, like I said, there's always room for improvement, and I think you could say about any event, So I didn't. And Mariah, is it Jesse? What's her husband's name? The people that organize it from Helibad. Mariah's
Dude,
the
I'm
female. I can't remember the guy's.
horrible with names.
I think Jesse's the guy name. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, they were very, very nice. Every time I spoke to them, and this was my fault. So when I registered, or I made multiple purchases. So I registered for one trail one day, the other day is a second day. So basically, I made different purchases. So when I arrived to check in, they had the sticker they give you to put on your window that has the trails that you signed up for. Well, some of mine were missing. So I messaged Mariah. That was I noticed that Wednesday night after I picked up my stuff and got back to the rental. And I messaged her, I think on either Instagram or Facebook, and she responded like within minutes. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Come see me in the morning." Went to her that morning before airing down. Boom, she had our ready, squared away. We were ready to go. So they do. I know there's always room for improvement, but they do put a lot of effort in it. So at least that was the impression I got. So I think that, like you said, I think as time goes on, as they perfect it, it will get better. I certainly thought it was worth the price of admission.
Yes.
Myself. And that's the thing too, is like, assuming for whatever reason I don't have to move out of this area, I wouldn't be opposed to trying to lead a trail. I'm not going to say I'm going to be an expert at it like you are or some of the other people, but if it's needed, I'd do it.
I'm no expert.
Yeah, so somebody else gets out and crawls up the rocks. I'm too fat for that shit.
Yeah, I'm no expert. I just point my rig and it hasn't flopped yet. So
Yeah.
that's what I do.
But you're a pretty good
But
driver, though, Evan. I'm sure Evan would probably agree with that, right, Evan? The
Absolutely.
Rubicon. You know,
you
you have
know, the
mostly
man of my
stock
stature
Broncos.
has to do a lot with a little. So
Yeah. That's
uh,
what she said. Yeah.
uh,
But I mean, but we noticed that, like in the Rubicon, you were one of the, I think, 2 to 3 Broncos that was either stock or damn near stock, especially when it comes to suspension and tires. And you nailed it. I mean, you kicked ass on that trail. You did the hard obstacles just like the rest of us did.
mhm.
I don't remember you getting winched out. You may have, but at least I don't remember seeing that. You know, so you did a really good job. You know, and plus, I'll be honest with you, I've drove manuals. I can drive a manual comfortably now. I'm like, I just would not want to wheel with a manual at this point because I'm just lazy. But you know,
Oh, lazy. Okay, yeah, I get that part. But
yeah, I mean, I just like, I'm not saying I couldn't do it. I could do it, but I'm just like, fuck it. I just rather like put it in drive and go. But you know, that takes a little extra skill set to be able to wheel a manual. I know granny gear or crawl mode, whatever you want to call it, helps out a lot, but still, I mean, it has to, you know, you can't be in granny mode the whole time.
so the truth is, I drive manual all the time, and it's one of those things. Like for me, driving a manual transmission, I don't think about it at all. When I think about it is when I start grabbing the wrong gear, doing all that kind of stuff. For the
Yeah.
most part, it's just an extension, and I can't stand to drive an automatic. Like in the Mustang or the Bronco, because it's like I don't want the computer doing. I want to drive it. I
Yeah.
know where I want to be when I want to be, and if I screw up, it's my fault. Um, and so I'm not a huge automatic fan,
Yeah.
and I did have to winch myself at Sand Hollow on Plan B. I don't.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
trying to see if I can see the picture. It's my first ever obstacle I winched on. The stupid 4 doors, um, they went right up it because of the long wheelbase,
Yeah.
and I could not. I would get up to it, and I tried 5
Sorry.
different times. I'd get on it, and my butt would just keep sliding over, and
I was
just
trying to
keep
see if you'd
sliding
added
over.
it. Yeah, I
No,
mean,
I'm trying to look for a picture of me winching. It's not on this. It's on my GoPro stuff. It's not in here, but it doesn't matter. But everybody's like, well, if you tried this, I'm like, dude, I tried 5 times. I don't
yeah.
care. I have to drive it home at some point. So I just hooked up, winched up there, just lived a wheel another day. We watched on that same obstacle. They call him Ducky, but did you see the one that was the Forest Service green one
Yeah,
that looked like yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he
he
broke
was in there. Oh,
his
he was in my Airbnb. He's in Arizona. His name's Andrew.
Andrew. Yeah,
Yeah.
he broke his front end trying to get up that same obstacle, and
Yeah,
he's
he
on portals.
yeah, he has 74 well portals because when we got home that night, he was out there, had everything disassembled. And the thing about portals, I didn't realize this, is that he was having to get like a file type thing to shave some of the axle. You can't just throw a stock axle in there. You
Hmm.
have to like shave some of it to get it to fit. So yeah,
Yes,
I didn't realize all that. And then he was in there. He was in there the whole night. And I don't know if he ever got back on the trail. I think he may have that last day. But yeah, he was in the garage for a whole day while we were there.
I just added a picture of his rig so you can show people. It was one of my faves. I loved it, even though he was an Oregon Ducks fan and I'm a Washington State Cougar fan. So, um, oh, the other thing funny about him, he's terrified of heights. And Plan B, there you're on some ledges,
Oh,
and
really?
so what is that turntable or tipsy or whatever it is, where you're just on this little tiny ledge going around. He was like, no, he went down the hill, up it because he wouldn't go across it. So, um, did it add to the album? Anyway,
Uh, I'm trying to get it to. I don't see it yet. The last picture I got that video. that you put in there of me. Let me see if it'll go.
Open link in new tabs. Therapy Live. It's in there. It's right by it's in the middle of it because it put it in there in the order in which it was taken. So it's in between. Yeah, it's in between the falls and the sunset picture. And his Bronco is such a great themed Bronco, but he was one of the couple people that I saw break. My friend David, he bent either an axle or an axle housing. You guys with the 2.7s and the skinny pedals, he started hopping, didn't let off soon enough apparently, and hopped himself a squeak. And I was like, it's a rock behind there. It's not a big deal. He took it to Ford. They took the tire off, and he said the center hub was going like this around. Yeah, there it is. That's Ducky's. That's pretty dope rig. I'll admit.
Yeah, he's. I've got him in a couple of videos because from the Arizona trails we've done around here last month or so. But yeah, he's a real nice guy. One thing about our house, the place I was staying in, we had between all of us, I think we had 3 sets of CV axles. I had the driver's side because my passenger side's still in my rig. I hadn't had the chance to get the RCV rebuilt yet, but yeah, we had and then we had 3 or 4 different sets of tie rods. We came prepared.
So he only snapped an axle. That was it, a CV?
Yeah, he said it was a CV axle only. I know he told me it's not just the first time he's done it. I think he told me previously he trashed the front end, the actual the front diff. If I'm not mistaken, I thought that's what he told me because it's just the second time. He was pretty frustrated.
Dude, I don't know how they don't. You go on portals and you put 20 grand into it, you might as well Dana 44 the front and bulletproof it, because I think they're starting to see that those portals are awesome for ground clearance, but they're causing problems because you're just pushing everything else to its limit.
Yeah.
The problem is the portals are supposed to reduce the stress on everything else.
Well, it can't, because the power's coming from the engine, then it's being multiplied in the transmission, then it's being multiplied in the transfer case, and then it goes to the front diff or the rear diff, then it's being multiplied again. So at that point between the center diff and the portal, it's still got the same amount of force going down it, and then it gets to the portal, and the portal multiplies it again, because the portal increases the gear ratio. It basically makes his crawler gear 100 and something to 1 instead of if he were to have it, right?
Right. It increases the out, but the stress going back into the system from the tire back through the system should be reduced by the same equivalent amount.
I'm not an engineer, so I'm not getting into that argument, but I will say this: the thing that portals is supposed to be the biggest benefit I've always heard is the geometry. You're not
because you keep. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, that for me is huge. That's why I don't want to First of all, I'm super cheap. My thing is bone stock, except for skids. I did buy some rear shocks, but I didn't realize that they were some pro comps, but I didn't realize they were 2.5-inch lift. But when I get all my overlanding gear in there, she squats anyway. But then once I put those babies on there, the ride difference versus those crappy Sasquatch shocks was unbelievable. And then running across the desert, I almost got my wife convinced to not get mad when I got a set of Fox. But I don't want to go with the big lift because I don't want to stress everything out. I just want more ground clearance, longer travel, smoother ride with no adverse.
You're describing a Bronco Raptor.
No, because they don't fit through the trees where I'm at. The rocks, I can't imagine a Bronco Raptor on some of that stuff.
So this just shows you the hard work and dedication of Mr. Quads in the Mud to get that beautiful money shot from the bottom of the falls.
The water wasn't cold. I mean, I walk through stuff like that all the time. I really wanted to get my drone out and get way better, but there was like 3 drones in the air, and I'm just like, oh, look at that sexy beast on the left. No, go back. Go back. Oh my gosh.
You
That
talking
is
about
the
this guy
best
right
one.
here, or you talking about the truck?
2 doors equal no whores. You know, that's what they say, right, Evan?
Yeah.
Only one for me.
Yeah.
So I had to drive. So one of my friends, Bronc Bus, he has a manual, and he was filming, so he had me drive his out here, and that was
Oh,
the first
yeah.
time I drove a stick shift in a Bronco, in a new Bronco at least. So that was
Love
a
it.
pretty interesting experience.
It is literally, I have a Mustang. I have a bunch of stuff. Don't ask me because it'll just make my wife mad. But the Bronco shifting is the smooth, that gears, the clutch, the transmission. It is the smoothest, butteriest transmission
Go back to
in.
that picture for a minute, Jody. The one that you were just on.
Down
Is
here.
there,
Well, it's either this one or the next one.
Oh, it doesn't matter. So that's with the rear shocks changed out.
no. So, so one of them, and she's never. I bought them from Boss 4x4. Super amazing couple. They sponsor. They've been in the vendor show. One of my shocks, I put it on. First time I took it to the dunes, it felt I was bottoming out only on my left rear. So something wrong with it. So I had to take them off. They exchanged them. So that's with my stock shocks. But now both of my stock rear shocks are blown out because I jumped it in Moab on accident.
On accident?
Yeah.
How do you jump something on accident? Is that what you're saying?
So
Is your wife in the room, Brad?
no, she's at home. I'm in the hotel room about ready to fly out tomorrow. No, so we were coming Dome Plateau overlook. Amazing spot in Moab. 10 out of 10 recommend. Come from the Dewey Bridge. It's a level 5 trail, not hard at all. Gorgeous, right? But leaving, I didn't want to take the slow trail out. I said, let's just go out the road, that all these van life people are taking to get out here. So we get up next to the freeway, and it's like 30 miles north. And so we got to go 10 miles or something like that to the east before we can get on a road. And it's a smooth gravel road. Dark, it's pitch black out. So I'm hammered down on this gravel road. I'm doing like 60 miles an hour, and there's a water bar, but it's not just a little ditch. Like, they dug out 2-sided. It drops down like 1.5 feet. And so I hit that thing going 60 miles an hour. Like, I had time to turn over, looked at Nicole, and like, this is going to be brutal or bad or rough, whatever I said, but it was going to be bad. We dropped down, and as we dropped down, we hit our heads on the roof. Then we compressed, and it shot us in the air. We hit our heads on the roof again, and we launched and then landed, and I just kept going. And when my wife gets jostled, I bump her into stuff, or she gets hurt, she gets instantly mad. Instantly.
Well, I wonder why.
So it was so violent that on the second time we compressed, I was looking directly at the horse in the middle of the steering wheel because I wanted to see what it looked like for an airbag to deploy. It was that violent. I turned and looked at my wife after I got going straight, and she said, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And she goes, "I hit my head so hard on the roof. I turned that's Boss Bronco right there. I turned or boss4x4.com, I think it is, but that's
a Boss 4x4 is on their Instagram. I just found them because I did a reel of her climbing up that one part, and I didn't know who she. I couldn't find her. So
yeah, I got a bunch of pictures and videos, but my wife said she looked over at me, saw that I was wearing a hat, and goes, "That must have hurt more." I took my hat off, put my fingers in my head like that, and then saw the blood on my fingers with an instant welt from my head hitting the roof. It was that violent. And so the whole rest of the trip, we're bouncing off bump stops with the factory shocks. So I have a new set of shocks sitting in the back. But yeah, it looks a little goofy, Evan. There's a lot of rake. It is like the anti-Carolina squat for sure.
So I after we got my skid plates mounted like the weekend before we left, mine was doing the Carolina squat pretty bad, and I had to switch out the springs. But now, without any weight on the back, it's got the same factory rake that it had when it was stock.
Yeah, quite a bit. And I've always been a rake guy because I hate a squat. I absolutely can't stand it. The only time I like it is a trophy truck that's flying. Like the ones that they race on the streets now, and then they have the jump set up. If you look, the back is just squatted down, and
Right.
I don't mind that, but my personal rigs, no way. Looks like trash.
Well, I'm the same way because that's the reason why I went back to ADS and had them swap out the shocks that they initially installed because they had the dual spring set up. And I don't know what it is about that design, but it seems like they all squat really bad. So they did me a dual rate single spring, sets perfectly like I want it. And I'm like you, I actually like the factory rake on the Sasquatch.
But then we buy a lot of crap and throw it on there, and so then that doesn't work. And I really don't have that much. I mean, I have a 2-door, but I mean, I got a fridge. I got my metal shelf in there. That's also my bed, so I can sleep in it. I mean, I got a lot of stuff in there, and I just don't like it to squat. But 2.5, 2 inches is when it's empty is kind of a lot. I'd like a progressive spring rate. I'd like it to run with factory height. Again, I want it all with no side effects. Really, that's just what I want.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, did I mention for free?
Oh, that works too. Yes.
Because I'm very much, if I have $1,000, I don't want to buy parts. I want to go somewhere. I want to do something. That $1,000 needs to go in my fuel tank, and so I can go explore and go do something somewhere. So that's how I am. That's why I built my bed. That's why I do a lot of stuff like that. Because I'm cheap.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like I said before, you do a good job whenever you will. So, you're one of those people that prove you don't have to go out here and spend a shitload of money on stuff just to, go have a good time.
And I think it's important that people realize that it doesn't matter what you have on your Bronco has limitations, period. And so I'm perfectly content with the limitations my Bronco has by the amount of money and dependability all factored into it for my Bronco. I know it could be way better if I spent a lot more money on it, but I'm content. 7 and 8 trails all day long. 8, I mean, the Rubicon, I had to pick my lines. I scraped on everything I scraped on, but I made it across without winching. I went a couple places that Ed said, oh, 6Gs can't go. And then Mike and I were like, you say that, like, of course we're going to go,
I think he was doing that to pressure you in his roundabout way of asking you to do it.
No,
I don't think he wanted him to do it at all.
Facts.
I was funny when that first day he got down there and he was like, yeah, I could hear you all coming for a while because he could hear us all scraping.
Oh, you could so I was frustrated the first day of the Rubicon a little bit. Well, first of all, I had 3 weeks to prepare for the Rubicon. He'd been asking me all summer, and I said, there's no way I can do the Rubicon. I have a stock Bronco. I don't have this. I'm not good enough, and I don't want to wait for people, right? And then then we go and we do the Rubicon, and I'm still like, my wife is like, are you okay? I'm like, I got a full rack. I got people have CV joints. I have tie rod ends. If we bust, we'll fix it. I was really nervous, and she'd never seen me nervous like that before. And then I was super nervous about making people wait. And then we got going, and then you and Evan, you were both you were slower, but you were getting your rock tires underneath you, is what I'd say. So I didn't have a problem with that. But then we had a few other people that, okay, they're not doing so well. So then they want to try the harder line 2 or 3 times and then not make it. And then by the time it gets around to me, everybody's like, hey, Brad, you just go. Like, don't try the harder line. I'm like, and then I got aggravated at that. So then when Ed broke, I was like, I am loaded down with so many tools because I was so nervous. I got whatever you need. And then so me, Ed, and Kevin, like we hauled butt across that trail to get to camp before dark to work on his. And then we get to camp. I'm like, okay, I can calm down a little bit. And then Ed is not lying. We heard just echoing through everywhere. And it was awesome. And then the whole time Ed's like, dude, tomorrow's way worse. Tomorrow's way worse. Tomorrow's way worse. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then we got up in the morning and then all of a sudden everybody just shot across the stuff like it was nothing. Like the second day was way worse than the first day in the how hard the obstacles were. But everybody got their rock tires underneath them. There were still a few people that may have tried stuff that was too hard, and not going to point people out, but like, and I never once had a problem.
You can point at Evan, and we'll laugh.
No, it was not. It was not Evan. It was not me, Evan at all. No, and it wasn't Don. Don had the open diff. Like that guy was ridiculous. Like he bashed the crap out of his rig to get it across, and he was okay with being winched. Whenever we're like, "Come on, Don, it's time to winch." You just winch him across, and I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Back in the old days, they had front and rear open diffs, like 28-inch tall tires on their Jeeps. They had to winch. They had to pull a lot of cable.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's disrespectful or anything to be ashamed of at all.
No. I mean, I don't, Don. You're exactly right, though. I mean, that first day, I can't speak for anybody else, but I think Evan and I have kind of talked about this before too. Is like the first day, I was so freaking nervous and just so afraid that I was going to break the shit out of something, or that I was because I'll be honest with you, like for some of us, that's like the grand poobah of trails. I mean, I was not saying it's the hardest trail in the world. It's not, but when it comes to
I don't know where they get that from, but it's hard, but it's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, but for like a street legal passenger side vehicle, that is a pretty intense trail, and it's world famous because it's been there forever. And it's just like it's like a rites of passage, so to speak. It's one of those things to where you're nervous. Everybody knows you're going. Everybody knows you're going to be there. You don't want to fuck up, and you don't want to break anything. And then, like in Evan's case, he's having to drive halfway across the country to get home. And then, the rest of us had to drive a good ways too. But we're all far away from home. We're on a difficult trail
with no cell phone service.
Yeah, with no cell phone service. And you're just sitting there thinking like, oh my God, because the time of the year that we went, which was nice because there wasn't that many people out there, but we had less daylight. Yeah, we had less daylight was the only problem. Definitely. Yeah, so you had to be kind of mindful of that, like you were saying, everybody, especially with a group as big as ours, if everybody was sitting there just giving it hell on every hard line, God, we'd have been there forever because, we didn't have enough daylight to do all that.
And the truth is, we all come from different areas. There's some people that came from a lot closer and wheeled that kind of stuff. Like where I come from, the rocks aren't slippery like that. Where Evan comes from, they don't even have rocks. Your closest thing to a rock is the frozen snow pile after it warms up and then drops down below zero again. And
well, I think that Evan and I, I think Evan and I, we come from areas that are more mud focused, I guess, for lack of a better term. I mean, I'm not talking about just regular mud. I'm talking about like thick, like you're doing this shit.
Oh,
and it's not even that
traction.
Bad.
Yeah. Like you're not in the mud. You're running on like that deep of like clayish crap, and it's just like an ice skating rink, but that's at this angle. Right. And then you have to go around rocks and tree roots, but the rocks aren't the trail itself. And the first day I was scared. Like I didn't want people to wait for me. I wanted to make sure I could do it. I wanted to be able to have fun. I was pretty sure I wasn't going to break anything after about the first hour or two. But my biggest fear was making people wait. Like, and we're not talking while I got over a tough obstacle. We're talking breaking or stuck and me just being the reason why nobody had fun. And so once I got over that, I mean, it was great. The second day was amazing. I had, Evan and I, we bonded. We became Choo Choo Moo brothers. And after that, sorry, spirit animals. Once we became spirit animals, it was absolute, like, it was so much fun. Like I told my wife, who hates off-roading, I'm like, it's literally the most fun I've ever had because the trail was so amazing. All the people were amazing. Once I got over myself and got past my own stuff, like it was just, and the second day on the slab, I mean, except for hurting myself while swinging out into the water, which my wife happened to point out, I hurt my butt again at UBB by jumping off the rocks with Lewis, Derek and Monica's kid, but I jumped farther than him. That's all that matters. I'm still in pain, but I won that long jump competition.
You can't compete with young people there, Brad. You're going to end up walking funny the rest of your life.
Oh my God, it hurts so bad. It's still pretty painful, my tailbone, but the people is what made it amazing.
I got my karma for laughing at you hurting your butt swinging at Rubicon Springs last night because Courtney healed me right in the gooch while we were messing around. False, bam! Oh, walking funny.
I don't even want to know the story. Oh my God. After seeing
that was after we got off the phone with you, Jody.
Courtney says you don't tell that.
It happened.
You're about to hit again if you're careful.
Well, she thinks it's hilarious.
So, Evan, Courtney, Nicole and I, we have a whole level of joking that nobody ever knows about. That is freaking hilarious to us. Evan, you put that stuff on Facebook. You put
I can't put half of it on Facebook.
There's more? Oh my gosh.
I'll sit there when we're in bed. I'm like, I'm going to post that on Facebook. And she says, no, you won't.
But, oh, yeah, hold my beer.
Oh, man. I don't know if I'm going to get into heaven if Jesus sees Nicole and I's messenger memes.
Well, I mean, you're married, so hopefully he'll make an exception.
Yeah, I don't think he appreciates those memes being out and being circulated anyway. But oh yeah, it blows me away some of the things you say on Facebook, Evan. Oh man, if I was Courtney, I'd hit you with a frying pan or kick you in the gooch or whatever you said she did.
Heel. It was like a donkey kick.
I'm only assuming, is the gooch your butt? Like,
no, the gooch is the spot between your nuts and your ass.
I thought that was.
That was the taint.
Yeah,
taint, gooch, same thing.
Taint ass, taint balls. In the South,
it's all bone, right? Bone and nerves. That's all that's right there. And I got hit with a heel at full speed.
In the South, we call it the taint.
I left the damn ground. It was like a cartoon.
Good job, Courtney. Keep fighting them off. Good job.
What kind of podcast is this?
It's after hours.
Yeah, we're late at night. We don't have to worry about like censorship stuff.
Oh, yeah, but don't we have to answer for what we say? Sometimes to our wives.
Well, Jody already said the F-bomb, so we're not getting monetized.
Yeah, a couple of times.
But anyway.
Well, I think you have to be to get penalized for that. I think it has to be like early on.
It has to be within the first 1 minute and 30 seconds or something.
Yeah, I mean, we've been going. We only got 9 people watching, so if we piss off 9 people, that's fine.
What's hilarious is Jody, you should have it so you have a timer countdown in the bottom corner of starts at 1 minute 30 seconds and count down, and it just counts down, and at 1 minute 31 seconds you're like F-bomb, 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 and we're off.
Yeah, I have. I used to be a truck driver a long time ago, so I don't have a lot of
brain cells. You don't have brain cells.
That doesn't do to be nothing to do with being a truck driver. That's just the way I naturally am. But yeah, I don't have a lot of filter, put it that way. Sometimes I've had to tone it down because of my current profession. You know, you can't. I'm in leader management, so I can't be like a Michael Scott type. But you know, anyway.
I work for a small, like, regional cell phone company that is pretty much mom and pop type company. So our HR department is generally worse at the jokes than we are. So you can only imagine what's said and done where I work. It's pretty hilarious, actually.
I remember, what was it? You know, y'all know Raptor Roach or Austin. He was on the show before. He had posted some video where he was doing, I guess, some kind of flight simulation thing where they were he's like breathing like real erratic and really heavy. I guess it's part of their training. And Fabian,
because of the G forces.
Yeah. And Fabian from Armadillo Tops, Hard Tops, made a comment that says, when she tells you not to finish or something like that. And I was like, he said something about, he goes, I almost put that under the company, almost responded to that under the company account. And I was like, yeah, you don't have to go to HR. And he's like, that's all right, I'm HR.
Like, ask Courtney, it's a well-placed heel will stop all of that.
Ooh, damn.
Am I wrong, Evan?
At least hit the reset button.
Courtney, you know, I feel like Courtney's had like 7 comments or about 10 comments. Anybody else have?
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Well,
inappropriate, Evan. You shouldn't have said that. Oh my gosh. That deserves a move.
She had pantsed me right before that.
Your wife pantsed you.
Yeah.
Oh my
Speaking
gosh.
of pants, do we want to talk about Evan getting on your show?
If you start with that, no. If the lead-in is, speaking of pants, should we talk about demonetization?
We ain't monetized yet. Don't worry about it.
Wait, is this YouTube or OnlyFans? Because remember that, Jody, when you start a story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of OnlyFans, if you had your camera ready, you could have made some money.
Evan. Yeah. The pants.
No, they recorded me. He was just kind enough to delete it, allegedly.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I forgot. I always forget that I got little Evan on camera somewhere. I never. Well, you know how the GoPro makes everything look smaller, right? Right, Evan?
It's supposed to add 10 pounds, God damn it.
It was a weight. If it added 10 pounds, it was a weight loss drug. Yeah, when I saw that I could, it was. When I saw that I could see the back of your Bronco with the GoPro, it was deleted. Like, I didn't watch the sunrise. I'm like, there's the full back door of his Bronco. Delete. Oh my gosh, funny. That was pretty hilarious, though. The look on Evan's face. I got in the water. Don got in the water.
Yeah.
I think wasn't there a throuple going on with Ed and Kevin and Karen and all them?
Go down to that end of the pond, did you?
Yeah. No, but they were all giggling and laughing and saying they were in the water, and I'm like, no, we'll be down here. We'll stay down here for a bit.
Just remember you playing Salsa Shark with Don in the water.
Dude. Oh, that was hilarious. I'm still thinking of the. It wasn't that cold. It was all right. But the funniest thing, I keep going back to it, is the look on Evan's face when he was trying to say something about the video and see.
Because I hopped out of the back of the Bronco, I look straight down, and I see the red light flashing on your GoPro. Well, so like I'm in the middle of changing and I look out across the water and I see you sitting up on the fucking mountaintop, sitting there enjoying the sunset. I'm like, yeah, he's all the way up there. He can't see me.
It was the sunrise.
Whatever. And I hop down out and I look, I adjust my britches and I look over and there's a camera sitting right the fuck there.
I had you from every angle. Every angle I had you, Evan. Oh, you're lucky my eyesight is horrible. The funny thing is, I saw you behind the Bronco, but it was just a person. Like, I don't have very good vision. And even if I did, I'd be like, oh my gosh. That was the best. Oh, just the look on your face was so awesome. I wish if I would have known that, if I would have known how, like the look on your face on the GoPro, I would have given you my GoPro and say, hey, will you advance it to the point in which you saw the GoPro, the red light? That point in time should be your profile picture for everything.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so if you come to UBB, what train rides are we doing?
A lot.
So y'all go do that.
Nevada Northern.
The Nevada Northern, isn't that the one you already did, the Elko or Eli?
Yeah, you got to do it all the time.
Okay, I've never done it. So
they have like 5 steam engines. You can just ride a different one every time you go.
I'm in. So Jody said that we're not going to have anybody ever look at us again if we start talking trains. But so there's a trail that I can't make because I'm going to be off somewhere, of course. And they have this trail up in Canada, up above where I live. You go through train tunnels and over trestles.
Let's go.
Let's go. You just gotta get out the west side.
Did you ever know there's a place in Tennessee that had Nemo Tunnel? Did you ever hear that?
Nemo Tunnel is closed.
It's closed now. But I have a video of me with a 4Runner in it. It was basically turned into like a Jeep playground or off-road playground. But there for the longest time, it was open. You could go drive through it. There's another one in Kentucky that's still open because it's part of a highway to where it's actually got asphalt, but it's only big enough for one vehicle to go through at a time.
But Nemo Tunnel is still an active train line.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this isn't the place that I saw.
The Nemo Tunnel is not active. There's a train line adjacent to it, and the trail goes up to that line. I mean, that was where that guy got hit at.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Nemo Tunnel is still owned by the railroad.
Yeah. The actual old tunnel it's not near the tracks. But there's no tracks there because it's pretty much all water when you go in. Because you're right water.
I don't see any of my points. I thought I saved it, but there is one back east that I just watched somebody drive through, or they couldn't make it all the way through because it was wintertime and the ice was dangling down too far or something like that. So they have to come back later. But I thought it was
off road or was it asphalt?
I think compact gravel. It didn't look anything major, but I thought it was fairly close to a town. But I don't see a lot of times if I see something on Instagram, I'll instantly go to Google Maps, find it, and then save it as a starred place. So on my map, if I go anywhere, there's tons of stars that I'm like, ooh, I seen that on Instagram one time. I want to go.
So if you ever go to the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway, which is in eastern Kentucky, or Evan, I stopped there on my way to Tennessee once. There's a tunnel called the NADA Tunnel, NADA. Now it's asphalt, but it's an old train. It's a retired train tunnel that you drive through. It's decent length. I mean, you're in it pretty good ways. You can turn all your lights on. Of course, there's graffiti on the walls and stuff, but it's not quite the same because you're in 2-wheel drive the whole time. But it's just something that's something you're into.
Stanton, Kentucky.
Yep.
Are you going to Sturgis Bronco Rally?
My wife and I are going to be at the ocean for that whole week, and it starts the 24th. I can't. I love my wife too much. What's the date?
October something, isn't it?
Or
September.
Very first part. Is it September? Yeah.
The last week in September.
Yeah. And so, like, I am not getting back from the ocean until the 25th. And doesn't it start on the 25th for 24th? Yeah, no, I'm toast. I would love to go, but
There's
I
a steam
actually
engine
would
ride
rather.
right there.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
I understand, but as I'm one of those weird guy that really enjoys my wife. My wife is amazing. So if I have a chance to spend a week with my wife, sorry, gonna do it.
See, my wife is coming with to do the train ride and Bronco thing.
I was about to say, is your wife with you again? Because I think I don't know if you always talk about that.
Oh no, don't worry. We fought last night for sure.
Yeah.
Before I left, but
see, this is a
she's
win
not
for
here.
me because South Dakota is one of our favorite places.
Oh, South Dakota's amazing. Amazing.
Well, there's a
I
golf
love it.
tournament that Wednesday. I'd do that.
I don't have the kind of money to play golf, dude.
I don't either. I use those cheap clubs you get at Walmart. They're like $150 or whatever.
Dude, it's like $50 to go play on most courses if it's not more expensive.
I tried out
And
for
really-
Where have you been playing that? In Chicago,
we
we
live
played
in-
all the time. We didn't play that much.
Well,
What
that was
cheap?
back 1926, Jody. But we live in Washington. But the truth is here's the deal. The only reason to go golfing is to drive the golf cart, truthfully. And if you're not in a course that gets you far enough or hidden from the clubhouse, then it's no fun at all anyway.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you know my fat ass ain't going to walk the course.
And we can't share a cart either, because otherwise it won't be fast. I'll take Evan, you take Courtney, and we'll go rip
There
it
you
up.
go. Yeah.
I've wrecked a golf cart once. I'm not getting back on one again.
We'll let Brad drive.
Yeah. I didn't wreck it. I almost did, but I didn't. So that's
They
my
explode
story.
like when you wreck a Corvette.
So we'll see
fast
what
were
my
you?
PTO looks like, Evan, on this one.
Huh?
We'll see what my PTO. If I do this, I definitely won't be able to do the Rubicon again this year.
I would do Sturgis over the Rubicon. This is the reason why you've done the Rubicon. Do Sturgis, give yourself some time, and then do the Rubicon when it's not so fresh.
Yeah.
That's
the only reason I would do it is because the Arizona club, they're wanting to go and they want somebody that's done it before with them, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean,
you know what kind of weight is on your shoulders then, Jody?
I know.
To remember stuff and try and guide. No. I'm an adventurer. I always love to go new places, and that's my thing. But
by us doing Sturgis this fall instead of trying to go back to California this fall, it gives us more time for UVB next spring.
Yeah. I think sometime Aaron and I talked about doing it Dirty Ursham or what it's called.
Ducey.
I'm sorry, Ducey.
What's Ducey?
It's another trail like the Rubicon, but south. It's like a 48-mile trail.
Yeah. Oh, didn't Fab Rats go across that?
Maybe. There's a lot of people that do it. It's not supposed to be as intense as Rubicon. It's just longer.
Yeah. The gatekeepers
supposed to be doable in 3 days.
Yeah. The gatekeepers are a lot more gnarly there because it's a lot more from one of the videos I've watched where if you don't do it just right or have a good spotter, you can easily get some body damage by smacking up against one of the big
Supposedly somebody moved that post. So like you have to split the post in the boulder. And if you don't split it just right, you're trashing. If you hit it wrong, you're either gonna slide off the boulder and put the post into your driver's side, or you're gonna slide the other way, slide down the boulder and trash your passenger side on the boulder. But somebody moved that post, so now you can literally just go right through it.
Okay. That's no fun.
That's better.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe for you,
it's supposed to be the hard part.
When I do the Rubicon again, I would actually like to add a day to it so that you can play on some obstacles, slow it down. Because, dude, how much fun did we have once we stopped and we were camping and we were shooting the breeze, and I would go and get my nice warm shower and sit around the imaginary campfire. and Choo Choo while you guys were all dirty and grungy. That was so much fun.
Well, that's just thing too, is that I think with us, because we had such a large group, and don't get me wrong, I loved everybody that was with us. Having such a large group, having shorter daylight, I think we did find ourselves probably rushing more than we probably should have. I think if I was going to do it again, I might try to go in like mid to early September, to where that way school's
the
in.
weather was
so you don't have-
perfect.
well, I mean, because the reason I think September is because school's in. So if you go during the week, you're not going to have everybody out there with their kids and their quads and everything else. No offense, but
Hey, whoa. That hurts.
that's one thing is that you want to go. I don't want to go in the middle of summer whenever everybody and their damn brother is out there and there's people out loud being drunk and everything else. But I think
you're in school in October too, Jody.
What's that?
Said kids are in school in October too, Jody.
Yes, but your hours of daylight are a lot shorter.
We had plenty of daylight.
By how much?
We had 12 rigs.
That's what I'm saying. We were trying
to. The truth
hurry.
is, we didn't have any trail slowdowns. We were the trail slowdowns for other people, but we didn't have any trail slowdowns.
Don't know about that. Day 2, we had some classic Broncos that were sitting for a little while.
No, what I'm saying is we didn't have any groups that we were waiting for them to go through obstacles. That's what I meant by trail slowdowns.
Oh, okay.
We had and we were lucky, so I don't want to hear any word out of you, Jody, because next time you'll see us ripping front end stuff out while the old guys are sitting there going, those damn 6Gs, we had to wait on them. So somebody's gonna break. There's always gonna be something. Thank God it wasn't us. That's all I gotta say. Thank God it wasn't us.
And the stuff that did break was relatively easier to fix.
Oh yeah. Well, some of it wasn't as easy to fix. They just had their stuff and they broke it before. So,
yeah. And it was the same thing, all three of them, wasn't it? The fuel line?
No, one fuel line, one fuel filter. Well, the fuel line was
part of the drive shaft exploding.
Oh yeah, they blew that up because of all the articulation. I'm just looking at something. And then Ed's was his gear shifter.
Yeah, I remember Ed's because he talked about it in his last video too. He was talking about that. What exactly he went into detail on how he what happened and how he had to work his way around it.
Yeah. So this is what I want. Hold on. Where's the spot where I can choose it? Okay, here we go. I want you to tell me what day in September you think you want to go on the Rubicon.
Oh, anytime after Labor Day and before.
So how about September 12th? Friday, September 12th.
What about it?
Okay, Friday, September 12th. Daylight hours were, come on, update. Sorry, it's taking a while. Okay, Friday, September 12th. Sunrise is 6:39. Sunset is 7:13. Okay, so let's go 1 month later.
Yeah, 1 month later.
Friday, October 10th. Confirm. It's 7:05 and 6:28. So you lose an hour-ish.
Yeah,
it's about an hour.
That's a lot of. It's a lot when you're trying to drive a lot of rigs.
An hour, Jody. It's just an hour.
I know.
It could also be 40 degrees hotter in the middle of the day too.
Oh, it won't.
And bugs. Do you not know? The warmer it is, the bugs. We had no flies, no mosquitoes, no gnats. We had nothing.
I get that. Yeah.
If you're watching, you did perfect on choosing. You guys, perfect. That is the perfect time. Perfect. Don't listen to Jody. He's freaking in Arizona.
Anyway.
Why don't you just use your Arizona time then? Why don't you not switch your clock or whatever so that you're on the same, like you add an extra hour or whatever you do.
Well, if Trump gets his way, I think we're all supposed to be on the same time all year round, aren't we? I thought he said something about that recently.
I don't know. I'll sue.
Isn't
I'll
time just
sue.
a construct?
I think that I know it's been bills introduced
It's a
into
time of
Congress, and
construct.
I think it's a bipartisan support. So it's just a matter
I
of
don't.
them getting it passed.
If we stayed on daylight savings time all the time, that would be awesome.
Oh, I think so too. I'd rather have it more day or more sunlight in the evenings than the mornings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not a morning person. The majority of people are like that, I think.
This is getting long-winded, but I wanted to go back. I added a picture to the folder of my Bronco outside of a window, and Evan, you can see the 2.5-inch rake. Zoom in on the rear and the front, Jody. But it's the one where it's you're just seeing the side shot of that super sexy beast.
Hang on a second, I gotta open it back up because I already closed it.
And then I'll call myself Cattle Dog Off-Road Adventures because I don't have a bird dog, but I got a cattle dog in the window.
All right, there you go.
But then I got to start talking like I'm from one of the Carolinas or something.
Or no, that Montana.
Yeah. That's Montana.
I thought Montana had. That's what isn't it? Or Yellowstone? Where's it based out of? This
Oh
show.
my god, that is so. I hate that show. We watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes. I'm like, that's trash. That ain't good.
I haven't watched it since the second season.
Well, that's not terrible.
No, can you zoom in at all, Jody, and show the rake of the rear? Yeah, it's not horrible.
No, that's not bad at all.
No.
And I just added Fab Tech lower control arms because I bent my second set. Hey, Dusty. He's 13. He's on his way out.
Aww.
He can't see and he can't hear anymore.
Aww. Bless his heart.
Yeah, he's a good
What's
dog.
the place you're at here?
What's that?
Drinking establishment, the Blue Dolphin.
That has been closed down for years and years and years and years after a fire. I'm sitting in a hamburger shop, Thrifty Scotsman in Spokane Valley.
Oh.
Good food. So,
well,
right.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, I think it's getting to be about that time. I was trying to pull up a picture real quick. I don't know if I'll be able to get it up.
Taint versus what did you call it? A gash or what did you say, Evan? Gooch.
The gooch.
I thought he said douche at first. I was like, ugh.
No, gooch.
Turner and Gooch.
Turner and Gooch.
Oh, I'm gonna have to buy Courtney like high heels or something like that, or rhinestone heeled something. Maybe some spurs. That's what she needs. Next time she gets you.
All those workouts that we've done together really came and kicked me right in the ass, literally.
No, that's farther to the back.
It was dead shot in the middle.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Lord.
Is there any chance we could cut this at 1 hour so nobody hears the rest of it?
It's live now. We're taking it back.
All 7 people? How many are on there now?
We're up to 11.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
And then I started talking, and then they're like, I'm out.
Trying to find my favorite picture of you, Brad, but I can't.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. He goes, oh, crap.
No, I think we got to go. I think, hey, Evan, can you shut this baby down?
I don't have controls, dude.
Oh, here we go.
I can't even imagine what this picture is going to look like.
No. Well, I can't find. I thought I had it, but no. I was going to show the picture of you in the sun. Remember this picture that we took with you were in the sun on that point on top of that mountain? Remember?
The one place, the one time where you're doing
overlooking Lake Tahoe. You know.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, where you're looking through my Bronco?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Here, I can. When did we go? Was that this year or last year? 24.
That was October.
I can share a picture. Oh, there's train pictures. Oh yeah. of when we went to Carson City afterwards, and Evan, we couldn't convince him to stay. And then I got more train pictures and awesomeness.
Such a loser.
Oh, well, Courtney has to make money. Courtney can't get fired. Courtney.
But she can't get fired. She's the boss.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, that was the first night in the Aurora. Did you find it?
Yeah. I can get my damn mouse to work. There we go.
I'm going to add. Oh, yeah. That's the kind of stuff I find on maps. Like, I'm just like, this is going to be awesome. So I have to go. And it might take a second, but I just uploaded a picture from the night before. Oh, no, that's the same night. Because I see Bronco Outfitters LA ring. Yeah, they won the World Series, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I added a picture. But yeah, that's I forget the name of the peak. I could actually look at this.
Genoa or something like that, I think. It starts with a G.
Genoa. Genoa. Genoa Peak overlooking Lake Tahoe.
Mm-hmm.
On I believe this is the Nevada. Yeah, the Nevada side. Oh, so beautiful. The night before, I had sunset steaks. What did I have? Did I have tacos that night?
Oh, hell, I don't know.
Pork chops? I don't know. We all cooked. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, mwah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think
I'm a sucker for a sunset.
Yeah, I think this is a good way to send the night off. There's a picture of
the sunset.
Beautiful Bronco. Oops.
Oh,
not that one. There you go.
On the sunset. You know,
Evan, Courtney, wish you were there, but you weren't.
Yeah. They were battling no air conditioning on the drive home at that point.
Oh, it was nice and comfy up there. It was actually a little chilled, wasn't it, Jody?
Yes, it was cold as hell, and the wind was fierce. It was like really chilly.
Oh, it was a beautiful sunset.
Oh,
the night before, Aurora Borealis on my Bronco from that. Oh, yeah. Glad you guys made it home. Glad you made it home.
Yeah.
It was so weird because the trees up there at the top were like permanently bent.
Yeah, like you'd see at the ocean.
It looks like you know, videos of a nuclear blast and how the trees like, you know, and rebound. That's what it looked like.
Except for they didn't rebound.
Yeah, but that's what it was like. It was just a high gust of wind, just basically bent the tree over. All right, Rob. Have a good night, buddy. Thanks for joining us again. Rob's usually on here. Boys, I'm out of breath. It's getting late. I know it's 10:30 at Evan's neck of the woods.
So. Yeah. I haven't seen you walking yet, Jody. That's normally when you get out of breath.
Yeah, I know. Well, not when you're this big, this old. But Brad, have a safe trip down to Sand Holler. And,
yes, sir.
Hopefully you won't have to use Matt's off-road recovery at Matt's off-road recovery event. So,
did you guys see my drone video of him running recovery? It's on my Insta. Yeah, okay. I posted a video while we were down at top of the world, and I was droning, not making noises but flying my drone. I was like, "Oh my God, that's the Morvair!" And so that guy who ripped his bumper off, that was just on Matt's off-road recovery. His name is Eric, and I got video of it. And then I was able to. I met up with him on socials, and I sent him the video. So he had all the video that I had taken of him getting recovered by Matt's and stuff. So
nice. I like to meet Matt, but not as a customer.
Right.
Yeah. We've been there like 3 times now, and he's never been there. But I got to pet the dogs. I got to pet Peanut and Lady.
Okay. All right.
So
I got to get to bed, gentlemen.
All right, guys. Take it easy, y'all. Brad, thank you so much for joining us. People, thanks, if you want to follow Brad, Quads in the Mud on Instagram. Do you have YouTube, Brad?
I do. I need to start doing something, but yeah, I've got some old videos that are geocaching videos and some doing stupid stuff, but nothing lately too much.
All right. Well, check out his Instagram. Guys, we'll see y'all in a few weeks.
Peace.
See ya.